T minus 15. T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff. Go Falcon, go into ignition.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
And looking forward to the nominal.
Falcon 9, carrying IM-2's lunar lander Athena, has successfully lifted off at pad 39A. We're heading to the moon. We heard the call out of the pitch kick. That's a small tilt of the vehicle. We're still going pretty much straight up, but now we're also slowly heading horizontal.
We heard that call out for power and telemetry nominal, and once we reach orbital altitude, we're going pretty much horizontal to the Earth. The rocket needs to go about 17,000 miles per
Falcon
hour.
9 is supersonic.
Horizontally. We heard that call out. We are supersonic, and in just a few moments, we will pass through max Q, or maximum aerodynamic pressure, on the booster.
Max Q.
We're through max Q, and the Merlin 1D engines have throttled back up to full power. Next call out we ought to hear is MVAC chill. Falcon 9 data is continuing to look good as the first stage heads out over the Atlantic Ocean. Trajectory looking good on Falcon 9. Now we're going to have a few events coming up in quick succession. We're going to start with MECO, main engine cutoff. That's the point during the flight where we shut down the 9 Merlin 1D engines on the first stage. Then we'll go into stage separation, and then SES-1, which is the second stage engine start number 1.
And shortly after MECO, stage 1 and 2 will separate from each other, with the first stage booster beginning its trip back down to Earth, while the second stage engine starts for the first time, known as SES-1, where the single Merlin vacuum engine on board the second stage will light up. This is happening in just a few seconds.
MECO.
Stage separation confirmed.
And vac ignition.
Call-outs of 3 good events. You heard it, and you should have seen it there on the webcast. MECO stage sep and SES-1. Now, the first stage is not powered. It's shut down. Great views coming from the second stage cameras as we have just had sunset a little while ago at Kennedy Space Center. The first stage is now coasting to apogee. That's the view on the left side. We're slowly turning using cold gas thrusters. We're turning to orient the engines into the direction of flight. Also, you may have been able to make out in a little bit of the light, the titanium grid fin deployment is underway. We're using pneumatic gas pressure.
Confirmed.
And here comes fairing separation. And a beautiful view. Looking at Athena and the ride chairs on top of the second stage stack. So we had good fairing
Vehicles
separation.
are on a nominal trajectory.
Trajectory's nominal. First stage is looking good as it coasts to apogee. Second stage under power. Yomei, everything continuing to look good right now on the mission.
Yeah, we are at just over T plus 4 minutes into today's mission. IM-2 is SpaceX's 24th launch this year, and we are currently in the first of 2 planned MVAC burns. Around the T plus 6 minute mark, you should see on your screen the first stage's entry burn. It's currently making its way back down to Earth. And for that entry burn, we will relight 3 of the M1D engines on the first stage, starting with the center engine, followed shortly by the engines next to it, which will slow down the vehicle as it passes back into the Earth's atmosphere. Now we need to slow down the first stage to reduce re-entry forces, which will help us recover and reuse that first stage. And you can follow along on your screen to the telemetry on the bottom left and right of your screen for the stage 1 and stage 2 speeds and altitudes.
Now you may have noticed on the left side of your screen, first stage altitude has begun dropping. We have reached apogee, and now we are under the pull of gravity headed back down to the Atlantic Ocean. Now to slow us down, we'll use that entry burn. And that means we're firing 3 Merlin engines to decelerate the Falcon 9, but we'll still be moving very rapidly. And that's going to cause the vehicle to fly through the Merlin exhaust gases. It's also known as the rocket's plume. And this will deposit a layer of soot on the vehicle surface, one of the signatures of a flown booster. Now that soot comes from the carbon-based fuel that Falcon 9 uses. Now it took us almost 2 minutes since separation to get up to apogee. It's going to take the rocket just as long to bring the first stage back down to the edge of the atmosphere for the entry burn coming up in just about 20 seconds or so. Now, as a reminder, the first stage that's supporting today's mission is performing its entry burn for the 9th time. Falcon 9 is the world's first orbital reusable rocket. This is important because it's that reusability that allows SpaceX to refly the most expensive parts of the rocket, and that in turn drives down the cost of space access.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
Stage 1 FTS is saved.
There's that call out for entry burn startup, and this will be about a 30-second burn, slowing that first stage down as it re-enters the Earth's atmosphere.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
There you can see the end of that entry burn on the first stage. And on your right, you can see the second stage still in the first of 2 planned burns carrying the Intuitive Machines 2 payload to the moon. Now coming up next, we will shut down our MVAC engine on the second stage, followed quickly by the landing burn on our first stage. And the second engine cutoff of this first burn will be in just about 30 seconds at the T plus 7 minutes and 46 second mark.
Stage 2 is in terminal guidance.
You can see on your bottom right the speed of the second stage accelerating as we are in that burn.
Stage 1 transonic.
Stage 2 STS is saved.
MVAC shutdown.
There's that call out for MVAC shutdown. And we should be getting a confirmation of a good orbit as
Stage
well as
1 landing burn.
there is that stage 1
Nominal
landing
parking
burn.
orbit.
And that confirmation of a good orbit on stage 2. Let's watch stage 1 come back home.
Landing leg deploy. Stage 1 landing confirmed.
Awesome views of that first stage landing. There you have it. That was the 413th recovery of an orbital class rocket, including first stage landings for Falcon 9 and Heavy.
Oh, first stage is back on the drone ship. Beautiful mission. Second stage is in the parking orbit in our low Earth orbit. Now the mission does continue in space with stage 2. Coming up next, we have the second burn of our MVAC engine. We call that SES2. And that'll be the second stage burn around the T plus 36.5 minute mark. And we'll follow that with spacecraft separation. Until then, we're going to send you back to Tahira and Josh at Kennedy Space Center.